Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. I done kept it real from the jump. I done kept it real from the jump. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we. I done kept it real from the. I done kept it real from the jump. Living at my mama's house, we argue every month, nigga. I done kept it real from the jump. Living at my mama's house, we argue every month, nigga. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team fucking here. I done kept it real from the jump. I done kept it real. I done kept it real from the jump.
Yeah. This is for all you non-philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah, fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, and fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
What up, though?
Welcome, Tang gang. The Atheist Network Group. Another episode of OZone Live. Coming at you live from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Well, I am. But your boy Oz is here. And I want to say, first of all, welcome. Jena, it's been a minute since we've done a stream together.
I know. I know.
A minute, but I want to, before we talk about anything, your stream with Nick was fucking awesome. I'm so fucking proud of you.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate that. And it was funny because backstage we were talking like, oh, it'll be about an hour and stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck, an hour and a half went by. And I'm like, oh, there's still so much to say. There's still so much to talk about. It was fun. It was my first time being on Nick's channel. So that was nice. So, you know, you and I both know how important talking about mental health is, and given my recent things going on and everything that's going on in your life, it's something we're comfortable displaying and talking about. So it was natural and it was good. I enjoyed it.
Old tricky Nikki.
Oh, Nikki.
With the $666 suit. Old tricky
Yeah.
Nikki.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of truth. Yeah, indeed. Indeed, Pat. I agree. And check your freaking messages, sir. I message you if you're available.
Yes, sir. Sir.
As your producer, your chief executive producer, check your messages.
Chief executive producer. Wow.
I like that title.
Wow.
And if you haven't watched it, please watch the first premiere episode of Can You Dig It?
Can you dig it, suckers?
With Pat Lowinger and Dr. Josh Bowen. Go and watch it. Pat Lowinger and Dr. Joshua Bowen. Go watch it. It's pretty damn fierce. Pretty damn fierce. Hi, Uncle Beck.
Sorry, I had to take a moment. So, if you don't know, now you fitting to know. You fitting to. You fitting to.
Tell it.
So Dr. Joshua Bowen, he's an author of a lot of books. I can say a lot of books at this point, but this was the first one, the Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament, Volume Uno, Numero
Fancy.
Uno. Right? But now you should have already read this like a year and a half ago. Because now we have the Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament, Volume what, Jenna? What's that say?
Volume dos.
That's number 2. And for those that aren't familiar with Tang Gang, and sorry, Megan hates it when I say this. That means Volume 3 is coming. Sorry, Megan. Sorry.
I mean, there's a lot in the Old Testament, so I would suspect so.
There's going to have to be several volumes because there's a lot of bullshit in that old book. There's a lot of bullshit in that old book.
Anywho,
we've got the technical things all wrangled up for this, but this thing's coming back.
Oh yeah,
the Tang Collins show. What's it called, Jen?
Tang You Rang.
Tang what?
Tang You Rang.
Tang You Rang.
Honestly, and I'm going to probably download. Oh, okay. There's a lot of phone calls going on. All right. Yeah.
I mean, you said Tang You Rang.
Fair enough. I was going to say I'm going to download Mr. David McDonald's voiceover of him saying Tang You Rang because he says it a bit more high pitched than I do, and it's pretty funny.
So we already talked about can you dig it, sucker? But due to my insomnia, this did not happen last Sunday, but it's going down this Sunday. I don't care what has to happen. It's going down. We'll have a live interview with Jared and the rest of the Humanist Fellowship Assembly crew, live and in person.
Love it.
And then a selfish but shameless plug. This shit's going down. Devil's Night. And I was finally able to get contact with iTunes, and I scheduled this shit. So we have we have this thing going on the 18th.
Oh wow!
Whiskey, scotch, and cigars for my birthday stream. But at midnight that night, the first single from the album drops.
What?
Oh shit!
Ooh!
Oh shit!
That is a fucking bomb ass birthday gift.
Oh shit!
How excited are you? Tell me.
Just a little bit.
Not a lot, baby girl. Just a little bit.
Not a lot, baby girl. Just a little bit. No, I'm a lot excited.
That's legit. I'm fucking proud of you. As if I haven't said that enough already. I'm fucking proud of you.
I've yeah, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And then the last thing that fuck me. I thought I loaded the shits in here. Jenna, tell them about your stream earlier, why I can load these real quick.
Yes, let me distract the audience for a few minutes. So, if you didn't catch it, I was on Nick Suter's $1 Million Jackets channel earlier today. We were talking about mental health. And so he reached out to me a couple weeks back just to have that conversation. Nick, obviously, if you don't know him, then, fuck you. But real be real. No, Nick is a beautiful human, funny guy. He's been. I remember meeting him at Better for the first time, and he just ran up to me and hugged the shit out of me. Like, he's like just adorable. But no, in all genuineness, I enjoyed being on his channel this evening to discuss mental health and things I've been going through that's been affecting my mental health. So, it's always good to air that out, and if you're comfortable doing so, and having that real talk to where you can identify where you're at as a person. So, of course, in the future, we plan on doing more, whether it's the same topic or others. But yeah, I fucking enjoyed it. Nick's a great person.
He's aight.
He's aight. My light kept going the fuck out though, so I'm cursed. But
it's because you were on Nick's show.
That makes sense.
That's what it boils down to. But the two that I thought I had loaded, but now are loaded on here, and I'll say
locked and loaded.
And I finally now have the okay to share this, because now the owner of said organization has made it public. I'm now with a particular recording label, and first and foremost, I'm the official DJ. I'm the official fucking DJ. That I get to travel and like do concerts and shit, which is like crazy.
Okay, pump the brakes really quick. I knew you were DJ now, but I didn't know you're with the recording label now.
Yeah,
that's legit, babe.
I did tell you that. You missed that. You missed
that.
I did tell you
that. Okay. I'm just too excited to really digest everything. Yay.
Yeah, so the one and only official label DJ. So the artists, as they travel and opportunities come up, and I can make it, I can be there. I get to travel and do fucking concerts, which is my dream job ever. And the first one is here in Fort Wayne on the 23rd. I don't know why I keep saying 23rd. Your boy's gonna be DJing live. Live.
Oh, I wish I could be there in person for your first DJ stream.
Oh,
I mean live. Stream. So used to saying stream.
Everything's a stream.
Everything's virtual.
But this is a big fucking deal, and the where this concert is happening, where it's going down. That's actually where I met Ernie Wayne, which is he's the one that introduced me to the owner of the label, and everything's been fucking beautiful since then. We get to have our first show in the same venue. It's gonna be badass.
Fucking badass.
It's gonna be badass. So, and then for those that may be in Indiana, or maybe you're in the Indianapolis area, this one October 28th. That's an downtown Indianapolis. The flyer isn't nearly as sexy as the other one, but this one I actually know right where this is at, and this shit's gonna be popping.
Wow!
Don't let the flyer fool you.
Fucking awesome, babe! Congratulations! You worked hard, earned it. You did the shit. And the shit sounds good too.
I'm just a little bit excited. So excited. Yeah. So between that and the incoming album, it's all kind of surreal right now. It's like, is this real life? Somebody pinch me, slap me.
Is that why you're having a hard time kind of talking about it, expressing yourself?
Yes, because it is. It's like, am I saying this shit out loud? I am. And I was more excited. Fuck yeah, I'm a DJ, bitches. Is that better?
That's a little better.
Okay. So I was going to talk about a little clubhouse shit, but I'm going to skip that. I don't think I want to waste my energy on that right now. But I will just say, to what's his name? Oh fuck! I just forgot his name. That's how irrelevant he is to me. Hold on. I want to put just because I want to make sure I'm clear when I say this. There it is. There it is. Spartan Theology and James is tired. Fuck both of you, and you can suck my fat big atheist dick. How about that? And we can move on from there.
This mod that is also his fucking girlfriend approves.
Yeah. Fuck the bullshit.
Sorry, I'm a bit salty from that. That wasn't clear.
The fact that you thought it was a good idea to repost that is beyond me. But any hoot, Jena, any hoot.
Any hoot.
Any hoot. We got a little discussion to talk about tonight.
Oh boy.
And there's this particular motherfucker. And you will probably catch me more often tonight just going like silly ghetto, just because I don't take this guy serious at all. Just so everybody's clear, I do not take this guy serious. I don't take this argument serious. I don't take him serious. And the only reason that I'm doing this, we're doing this, is because he's tried to in his own way, humiliate or, whatever people that I consider to be very, very close to me. And when that happens, yes, the ghetto part of Oz does come out, and you can ask what's his name, the last guy that came out attacking Dr. Josh, that thought that he was really smart.
Fuck, I forgot his name.
The big fat white guy. Boy, sure narrowed that one down. Falk. Dr. Falk.
Yeah.
Dr. Falk. No, when you do that, like you're open. You've opened yourself up to the clapback, and sometimes the clapback needs to happen.
Sometimes you get it.
So I do want to point this out before we get into this, because it's driving me fucking bananas. My soundproof tiles are completely not straight, and it's bothering the fucking shit out of me. So I just want to point that out. I feel like I'm streaming on the edge of a mountain right now, or like the edge of a hill, and I should be compensating, or like I should move my camera. That doesn't help. But anyway, yeah, it's bothering me, babe.
I'm sorry. Anyway, any hoot. We will bring up the debate here, if that's what we want to call it. It's literally just a pat slap. It's a hour and a half pat slap. Hashtag pat slap.
Yeah, so everybody just remember that for in the chat. Hashtag pat slap.
Thank you, Derek Lambert.
So before you know what we do. Before we dig into bullshit here, gang, we do the damn thing.
I love it.
Blame it on the loose. Blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol.
look at the trees. I don't even know what you're talking about. Laser level and chalk lines. The only chalk lines I know about are dead bodies, and laser levels sounds like a video game.
No. They mean like a leveler, like a measuring thing to make shit straight.
Okay.
You never seen like? Oh, okay, never mind. That's fine. He got it.
I've said it before. If you see me with like an actual tool, like a hammer, screwdriver, assume I'm breaking something. Just assume I am tearing it apart. I'm not fixing anything. I'm not making anything better. I'm probably breaking it or making it worse. So, any hoot. I will also say that I've been patiently waiting, and I have not I caught like the first like 5 minutes, because I was at work this night. Like first 4 or 5 minutes of this. So, and I've intentionally not watched this because I wanted it to be organic.
Oh shit!
I have no idea what's going to happen, other than I just know that no matter what 7-day dude says, Dr. Douchebag as I call him, I just know. I just know it's going to be bad. So, without further ado, let's do the damn thing.
And while he gets that going, I just want to say welcome everyone to the new viewers. Thank you to Derek of Myth Vision for giving this debate a shout out. Oh, having said that, here we go.
So give me a second until it starts, and then you can start counting.
Just let me know, and
yeah, it shouldn't take so long. My computer's kind of slow.
I understand completely. And I'll let you know where we are as it gets closer to your time being up. I'll let you know.
No problem.
With Pat.
All right, no problem. So let me see here. Give me a second.
Yeah.
All right. So you can start now. 907. Okay. The origins. Today we're going to be discussing the origin of the 7-day week within the ancient Hebrews. Give me a second. Okay. So what is the importance of the 7-day week?
I just from a comic again. I told you I'm gonna go ghetto on this one because I don't take it serious. The fact that your first slide is just sticky notes with the names of the days of the week. You're muted, baby.
I know. Sorry. Shit. It's not like I haven't done streams before. Yeah.
That's how we started the debate, folks. That's how we started the debate. Is 7-day dude Dr. Douchebag shows up with sticky notes with Monday through. Jesus.
Not only that, he showed up with a fucking PowerPoint, and I scrutinized this when I watched it live in the chat. Number one, slideshow fail. Don't read every fucking word off your motherfucking PowerPoint. Don't fucking do that. That just shows you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Point number 2, don't make your shit small as hell and in different fucking colors, because no one could read that shit. That's it. That's all.
And I don't understand your color, because right now when I look at it, this color coding, you know what it looks like to me? It looks like the little popsicles that you buy from the ice cream truck.
Looks like America.
No, it looks like the little little popsicles you buy at the ice cream truck.
It does look like that too. The rocket.
Yeah. And I'm sure it gets better from here. Anyway, we'll proceed.
As it relates to Christianity. Well, it is the proof of God, and it's based on 2 propositions. Number 1, the Hebrew Scriptures are the oldest ancient source that makes exclusive claims to the recurrent 7-day week. Proposition number 2, the Hebrew Scriptures predicted the universal adherence of the 7-day week as a demonstration of the sovereignty of the God of the Hebrews over all creations. So today we're going to be addressing the first part.
Sorry, real quick. I forgot that this guy talks like a crackhead, so I got to slow this down a little bit.
You do need to slow it down, please. Thank you.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oz and Jena, I would just like to point out that Terry does get the prompt debate question being correct, and as time goes on, he drops into what he wanted to discuss, Sabbath. All right.
I don't, huh?
It's okay.
Huh?
So I think the debate question was explaining about the 7-day week and its origins, but he turns it into it discussing the Sabbath. I think that's what Pat was saying.
Oh, so he did what every theist does, and they just changed the subject. That's cute. That's cute.
Proposition on which my case is built upon. So we're going to be addressing the authorship of the 7-day week. So point number one, the Hebrew scriptures makes exclusive claim to the 7-day recurrent week. Let's consider Genesis 2, verses 1 through 3. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day, God ended his work, which he had made. And he Sabbath on the 7th day from all his work, which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it he had Sabbath from all his work, which God created and made. So notice how the 7-day cycle is intrinsically associated or linked to his act of creation. Consider as well Exodus 31:13. Speak you also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily my Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between you and me throughout all generations, that you may know knowledge that I am Yahweh, the creator, that sanctifies you. So challenge number one, Pat Lowinger is going to have to provide any ancient text that makes claims to a recurrent 7-day week, since we notice this recurrent theme established in the Hebrew scriptures. Point number two, the Hebrew scriptures predicted the universal adherence to the 7-day week as a demonstration of sovereignty of the God of the Hebrews over all creation. Let's consider Ezekiel 20:20, and it says, and I hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign from the Hebrew word oath, which can also mean evidence between me and you, that you may know knowledge that I am Yahweh, the creator, your God. Compare that to Isaiah 66, verse 19 and 23. And I will set my sign, evidence, among them, and I will send them that escape unto the nations, and it gives you a couple of examples, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. And they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles, which is what I'm doing right now. And it shall come to pass, from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath from another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Yahweh. Notice the distinction between the monthly cycles and the weekly cycle, the new moon to a new moon, and from Sabbath to Sabbath, which will be important as we move along. Challenge number two, provide any prediction of the 7-day recurrent week in any ancient source apart from the Hebrew scriptures. Point number three, the Babylonians did not keep a recurrent 7-day week. The Babylonians kept a lunar cycle. And as it states here, counting from the new moon, the Babylonians celebrated 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th day as holy days, also called evil days. And that's good enough. And on each of them, offerings were made to different gods and goddesses. And I'm appealing to the source of Pinch's Encyclopedia of Religion and Ethics, 1919. And the lunar cycle, it says, the lunation of 29 or 30 days basically contain 3 7-day weeks, and the final week of 9 or
Oh, this is painful.
What?
This is painful. Honestly, you do yourself better justice to skipping to Pat's opening, and then it dives into them having their back and forth, to be quite honest. Because he's just going to fucking read every fucking word on the screen, on his slides. It's not worth it. Trust me.
Okay, let's do that.
Skip to the Pat. Just skip to the Pat.
Let's do that then, because I'm literally like,
I want to kill myself.
I'm about to blow a gasket.
I'll take that back, just in case someone gets triggered. But god damn it, I want to at least drive something in my brain, at the very least.
What the fuck?
I know. And it's so funny because in Pat's opener, once you play it, because you know how Terry's all like, point this challenge number 1, Pat Lowinger has to prove this. Challenge number 2, Pat Lowinger has to prove that. And then Pat jumps into his opener and just like, no, bitch.
I heard, and see, I didn't even watch it, but I already knew. Here's the thing: people are like, you don't, and maybe this is me being a former athlete and playing at a high level, where it does you no good to talk shit once you've won. When you know that you're going to win, when you know that you have the upper hand, when you know that you have the defeat, or whatever that looks like, you talk shit before, during, and after. And that's why I had zero issue before the chat. And I already knew, I'm at work. I know I'm not going to get to watch any of this debate. But in the chat before the debate actually started, I'm like, No, this is going to be a bitch slap.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a bitch slap. And he said, oh, I hope everybody's prepared for Dr. Douchebag. No, I hope Dr. Douchebag prepared for the slapdown. That's what I hope.
The Mr. Delicious or delicious, blah, blah. God, I hate that word.
I will say, and you continue this, I am the king of the pause button. Look at his fucking face. He's so excited.
So delicious.
He's so excited about his 7 days.
7 days. Sounds like the ring.
I got a feeling that's how long it takes him to pray.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that.
Pray. That's all I was going to say. Pray.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
Any hoot.
Yeah. Yeah, get to the pat. Just start with pat.
First thing I want to address is the fact this isn't a new argument. Harry's not the originator of this argument. This argument was formulated in the 1950s, 1960s by a very well-known gentleman, Dr. Henry Morris, one of the founders of the Institute for Creation Studies. Morris has written, although I don't agree with much of what he said,
I said this when Dr. Douchebag talked about this is exclusive to my channel and my argument. I put it in the chat. You can go back and look at it. I said, and all credit to Pat, because Pat's the one that showed me this. That you're not the first one. So that's why it's.
Yeah.
Bitch, sit down. Bitch, sit down. Who the fuck is you? Who the fuck? You didn't make up shit. You didn't get no revelation. Shut the fuck up.
Well, no, I'm not going to ruin it for you. We'll get to it.
Anywho, everybody settle down. Alcohol.
Wrote about 20 books over his life, dealing with everything from creationism to young earth creationism, to apologetics, defense of the Bible, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, I didn't read these 20 books to get all the information, but he did author a series of papers. In 1979, he authored a paper called Acts and Acta. That's the original publication. I think it's available on the internet now. I pulled the original as well as looked at the article online. And he outlines everything Terry's talking about today. He entitles his article Creation in the 7-Day Week. Uses many of the same scriptural references, talks about how it's a unique projection of God's will, and largely it's the major strokes of what Terry did today. So at minimum, Terry needs to at least acknowledge that he's building upon an earlier argument. That aside, so divine revelation debunked immediately. Second thing regarding the assertion that I have to answer all these questions. No, I just have to give you the audience, a more relatively acceptable, academically founded, evidentially based explanation for the origin of the 7-day cycle. Literally, Terry has to prove God did it. And short of actually showing God did it, i.e. push the button, I think that's going to be an unreachable burden. My burden is actually pretty low. It relies on a lot of scholarship, none of which is my own. My argument that I'll be making tonight are largely based on pulling from arguments from people much smarter than myself. I'm never the smartest guy in a room unless I'm standing there alone. And the important point to remember is that there are really 4 important things that I noticed in Terry's position paper. The first is he relies on really bad hermeneutics. His new hermeneutical approach is complicated, but is fallacious. He often goes to the use of Strong's concordance as if pulling a word from Strong somehow is authoritative in his approach. The first would be, how he referenced things unaware. I don't think Terry's actually aware that Strong's references root words, not the total word. So it leaves out prefixes, suffixes, and other cognates. So it may say like the root word for color, but uncolor, colorless would not necessarily be the words that it's referencing in the translation. So I just like to quote, again, very often I don't find myself going to Christian sources, but taking a measured approach, someone who has a faith claim of Christianity, I look towards Mark Ward, who's the current editor of Bible Studies magazine, who last year wrote an article about Christians using Strong's, particularly those that aren't trained in the languages that they're going to be interpreting. And he makes several points about, please avoid it. You're not trained in the language. You don't understand the important parts of this. So learn some basic Hebrew and Greek before you jump into Strong's. One thing he says, Strong's entries, particularly among those that don't have strong backgrounds in language, lend themselves to abuses. And creates numerous word study fallacies that end up being demonstrably fallacious when the text is analyzed. And again, I'm not here to beat Terry up, but this is an academic debate, and I want to show there's problems fundamentally with Terry's argument. The next thing is Terry in his opening statement made a reference to the Sabbath being mentioned in the Genesis account. That's actually fallacious. The word never appears. The word that actually appears is tishbolt, which means to rest. Doesn't mean Sabbath. Sabbath later takes a connotation, but Genesis 2:2 specifically does not use the word Sabbath. So Terry has
boom, boom, bing, 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 bing. Oh man, all the fucking holes are getting shot in the argument. God damn it, Dr. Douchebag. Come better. Come correct. You're dealing with Mr. Pat Slap.
It's embarrassing and sad. And several things I can appreciate this from, because obviously before the debates happened, Mr. Delicious, or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself.
No, please don't ever refer to him as that.
Okay, I'm striking that from my vocabulary. Terry.
Dr. Douchebag.
Yes, that person.
Dr. Douchebag.
Yes. He was already up in the chat just before the debate can happen. So already you lost, any type of level of dignity, just and that alone to be forthcoming. But also I can appreciate the fact that Pat did not use slides, putting the focus on him and what he's saying and actually hearing what he's saying, and he makes fucking sense. Plus, obviously he's 100% right, but the fact that you lose, the whole point of a debate is appearing like you know what the fuck you're talking about. It's not a matter of winning. It's a matter of if the audience believes the fuck you're saying. And if you appear that way without reading every fucking word off a screen, then in a sense you've won. Pat already has done that. Besides the fact that he's relaying facts, he's already demonstrated himself as a clear winner, if you want to put it in that context. And this is just the opening.
and I can only imagine where it goes from here. Because like I said, it took everything inside of me to not watch this and listen to this. Literally, this is my first time watching and listening. But Dr. Douchebag continues to show and demonstrate his douchery. Is that nothing ever changes. And he, like, Dr. Douche, do not understand. Like, people in your own community tried to warn you. They tried to give you signals. Like, you understand that this is bad for you. People in your own community, Dr. Douche, they tried to forewarn you. This is not a good idea. But your pride and your ego and your commitment to being Dr. Douche and your commitment to 7 days, therefore God, literally sank your entire ship.
Yeah, I would question myself and my decisions if I ever went up against a scholared, learned professor that studies this shit. Well, I mean, not particularly this particular subject, but knows his shit based on and around this particular subject. Well, I would question myself.
Well, and knows obviously much better than Dr. Douche.
Yes.
Knows how to find this scholarly information, and not just like Pat said, where these are bad hermeneutics. These are bad takeaways. These are bad whatever words you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like you actually walked into this, and I read. Here's the thing. Here's the other. Oh fuck. We should have did this before we started. God damn it, Oz. I was all excited about my music earlier. I forgot. But I have a copy of Dr. Douche's position paper that he had to submit. Both he and Pat had to submit one before the debate. And I'm pretty sure my 11-year-old son could have put together a more elaborate argumentation for a 7-day cycle. But no. Leave it to Dr. Douche to fuck it all the way up and then still show up for the debate where he just gets annihilated. But then this is the same motherfucker that I want to point this out real quick. That he has like under 100 or right around 100 subscribers after like 6 years on YouTube, preaching this Dr. Douchery bullshit. After like 6 years on YouTube, has like right around 100 subscribers, right? He wants to call out people like Pat Lowinger that he's getting destroyed by right now and dismantled by right now. But then he also wants to try to call out people like this guy, the author of the Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament, Volume 1 and 2.
Ooh la la.
And then try to act like he's winning. That's madness. That's madness. Get the fuck out of here.
Roll the tape.
Roll the goddamn tape.
As actually, whether or not it's intentional or not, he's misquoted the text in a significant way that fundamentally, from this point forward, Terry's lost the argument because one of his chief premises is this. Tishbo specifically refers to a break from labor, it specifically talks about not a break from labor. Tishvot is a different word. I may be pronouncing it wrong. All you Hebrew scholars, leave me alone. But it does not use the word Sabbath. They're not synonymous. They're not equal. And that's one of the things I noticed in his position paper as well. And the earliest indications we have of the text show that it's not likely that early Jews, pre-exilic Jews, even did a 7-day Sabbath. And I'll demonstrate that if the argumentation goes that. I've left this open to kind of be responsive and open to Terry's inquiry of me as well. And I don't have to prove every calendar system. What I can show and what's demonstrable is no later than approximately 25 to 2000 BCE, 2000 BCE being the minimum level that we can put to the Mesopotamians, and that takes in a lot of groups of people, but the Mesopotamians had adopted various calendar systems that were pretty close that showed that their religious days were 7, 14, 21, and 28. What Terry didn't, he selectively edited my analysis on the calendar, which is, I'm actually kind of a little bit perturbed. I said ancient calendars were multivalent. The few sentences preceding his quotation. They track not only passing of days and months, but seasons. There were a variety of celestial phenomena which led to the development of astrology. Calendars in the ancient Near East typically were assigned one of three functions. First, civil, 2, administrative, and 3 was schematic. And what I did was further break down that the administrative calendar typically had a religious sub-function. Now, that is misrepresenting what I said in the paper. Calendars did more than one thing. They could cover administrative activities and religious activities simultaneously, and they didn't necessarily have to sync up day for day, but they had to contain those observations within systems that were self-contained themselves. Terry's going to have to answer a few questions tonight as well. One, I never actually said that T.G. Pynchon's wasn't a great Assyriologist in his day, but many of his translations have subsequently been changed. The 1908, not 1918, the 1908 original text that I went to and looked at an original copy, I didn't cut and paste from Wikipedia and then not cite it like Terry did, which is, again, why you don't quote Wikipedia, is simply because later scholarship, particularly that in the 40s, found mistakes in Pynchon's translation. Redactions and appendices, amendments to Pynchon's work were added, and then scholars then corrected in subsequent revisions of his work. But those mistranslations are where Terry's getting this 8th and 9th day in the religious calendar. To make a very short explanation, he was translating 2 texts side by side, known as a lexiconical column, Assyrian, Sumerian. He was better at one language than the other, and misnumbered as he was translating between the 2 texts. It was caught by a much later group of Assyriologists who issued an immediate bulletin that was academically published. Some people retracted their work that were relying on Pynchon's scholarship, and for that reason, you don't see anybody quoting this text anymore except apologists who go back to 1908 to use this scholarship. This is an academic approach to this as well. All I have to show is that cultural transmission, that one culture, the older, more dominant culture, influences younger culture. You can't show anywhere in the archaeological record that the ancient Hebrews were writing anything before the 10th century. They were illiterate people for at least 2,000 years before. They were illiterate for 2,000 years after the Mesopotamians had actually started writing systems. So what's more likely? The illiterate culture was influenced both in writing and literature, by the older and much more literate society, which in many times was actually militarily and politically dominant in that region for millennia of years at a time, or that somehow this one struggling little group that was oppressed throughout the Middle East somehow came up with a unique standard of tracking time, both their calendar and other systems. What you need to understand is that the ancient Mesopotamians honored the 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th day for religious observation. Now, Terry threw a red herring in there, but they also practiced a divination calendar, which observed the 7th, the 14th, the 19th, or 21st, and the 28th. Now, the days you honor your guards are sometimes different than the days that you seek divine prophecies. The same reason in Ezekiel, the prophet goes out on the first day of the new moon, which again would have been a day synonymous in the Babylonian system and other systems as well, where that's the day you seek prophetic visions. And with that, I really hope for a lively debate tonight. And I don't have to actually defeat Terry. I just have to convince you, the general audience, that my argument's stronger and is based actually on the physical evidence we have. It may require some interpretation, but we can't get through that. But if you want to accept Terry's argument, you have to accept not only that his argument's plausible, that you'd have to accept young earth creationism. You'd have to accept that Adam, Abraham, Moses, and Noah were actually real people, that the authorship of the 39 books of what I call the Protestant New Testament were actually only authored by 26 to 30 people. And that goes against the vast majority of scholarship. No extra textual critic, archaeologist, historian, anybody that's actually skilled in this field thinks that that is possible or plausible. And you have to allow for Terry to interject an extremely poor human medical approach and mistranslations of the text. And with that, I'm done.
All right, beautiful. Right at 10 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to move into cross-examination.
God damn.
And Pat demonstrates himself all throughout the remaining, I don't know, 2.5 hours of the debate or whatever it was, bringing up varying different examples of different calendars, making sure Terry even knew or familiar with them or whatever. And most of the time it didn't even seem or felt like he was. And how you can't, based on what you think is biblically sound, against everything else that was developed even way before this thing that you're claiming was developed, to demonstrate some proof. And even still, it shows no proof of God. It shows no proof of anything. So it's pretty brutal.
And that's why I apologize. I live downtown. There's a fucking train going by. But I'll say this, and we'll jump back into the debate. Here, let's do this.
Blame it on the loose. Blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the.
Okay, train's gone. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say now, but what did you say, babe? Maybe I'll spur my memory.
Examples of different calendars that were older than whatever he's Terry's trying to present. Demonstrating Terry's lack of knowledge, of not understanding anything, and that Dr. Joshua Bowman has the Old Testament Volume 2 out.
No, keep going. I'm just shamelessly plugging, but go ahead.
No, I think that's all. That's all that I said.
And no, you did spur my memory, so thank you. It doesn't matter whether it's a 7-day shit or whatever. Like none of this gets us to a God, motherfuckers.
Right. Yes.
You're not getting us to a God. These are just all like really, really cute, adorable ideals, ideas, thoughts, contraptions that you've built within your own brain that get you to a God. They don't get the rest of us to a God. It's only you. It's only you in this fantasy world that you've decided to live in. I'm one that I don't necessarily always believe that someone chooses a belief, but something this batshit fucking crazy.
You chose that shit.
I'm pretty. I'm pretty convinced, unless shown otherwise. You picked this. You chose this because this is weird. This is weird, bro. Dr. Douche, this is weird. You're weird for believing this. And goddamn, my pause button is on point. On fucking point.
This should be fun.
Wait, we don't get a rebuttal?
Well, I was thinking that could be done in the cross-examination.
Sure. Okay, because I thought there was at least a rebuttal. I think there was a 5-minute rebuttal made in the email.
I think actually, if you look at your email, Terry.
Okay, does it say that? Okay, no problem.
It says basically because we're both asking for extra opening time. We would just cover it in the cross.
Oh, no problem. So how much do I have for the cross-examination?
Cross-examination, let me see. What was that? It is, you have 20 minutes, and then Pat is going to have 20 minutes. So during this time, you get to ask Pat whatever you need. If Pat obfuscates or anything, I'll step in.
Okay, I'm going to share something real quick because
hold on, I gotta point it out. Hold on. I gotta
Blame it on the blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the
Pat, I love you. I love you. Pat gave he already knows he's about to go in. This is the knockout. He literally gave the he gave the like, bitch, I don't fuck with you.
Oh God.
Bitch, I can't fuck with you.
That's the old school gangster in Pat.
He did the nose rub like
He did though.
Bitch. Like, Pat, I watched you. You did it. Bitch, you can't fuck with me if you wanted to. Sorry, Dr. Douche. I already, as soon as I saw the nose rub, I already knew it's curtains for certain. You about to be hurting. And yeah, I just rhymed, Jena.
And once I share it, please start my time.
Okay.
Give me a second.
No problem. So far, so good, though. I've enjoyed this. You both have brought your A game.
You guys can see?
Let's see. Okay, there it is.
Hold on. Grr. You said earlier you're going to watch this. So I hope you do. Now I got to call your ass out. Did you actually just say that Dr. Douche brought his A game? Did you just say that shit out loud? For all of YouTube and anyone that ever watches this in the future, you actually said that out loud? Come on, bro. Like, I love you. I appreciate you. But don't placate to this bullshit. This is batshit foolery, Gur. Don't encourage this. Don't encourage this level of douchery. Talking about you brought your A game. We're gonna have to chat, bro. We're gonna have to chat. Holla at your boy.
So let me know when you're ready. You got 20 minutes.
All right, you can start right now. All right, Pat, do you see on the screen Genesis 2?
I do.
All right, I'm going to click on the word to rest here that you were referring to, Strong's number 7673. And please tell me the word that you see, the verb that you see mentioned there. Give me a second. What's the verb mentioned there?
This is exactly what you shouldn't be doing, Terry. This shows a lack of knowledge of the text. If you'd like me to Vord diary you on your knowledge of Hebrew right now, I actually have 40 Hebrew words in Hebrew, in Aramaic, that I will place on the board and allow you to translate in real time for the audience. Otherwise, you can't use Strong's because you're not, I'm going to actually say, you're not familiar enough with the language to use Strong's effectively because you don't understand the difference between root words and true words.
Hold on. I want to make sure this is loud and clear.
Fuck. See, Terry, this is exactly what you should not be doing, Terry. This is exactly what you should not be doing. You don't understand the difference, Terry. You don't just pull shit out of Wikipedia, Terry.
Gur, I'm gonna come back to you. Gur. I gotta hold you accountable because you're like moderating and shit. You said they're coming with the A game. That's funny. That shit's funny. How many jokes are we gonna tell tonight, Gur? How many jokes?
Oh boy.
The actual.
Okay, no problem. Can you give me any source? I'm not sharing no more, right? Can you give me any?
Well, no,
Hebrew...
the word in the text is actually tashavot, right? It means was and did rest, right? But it doesn't actually use sabat or any derivative word. They are completely distinct words in Hebrew.
Okay, no problem. I said it was a verb. There's a noun. I have questions. There's a noun and there's the verb. I showed you my source.
It's not a noun. And is
I didn't say it now. I said it's a verb. I just said it's a verb. Please let me ask my question. Can you give me any Hebrew lexicon that would disagree that the word here? Give me appeal to anyone, and we can verify that. I'm gonna take the time it needs. We can verify any Hebrew lexicon that says it's not the verb to Sabbath. Any Hebrew lexicon.
Sure, I will use your favorite source, the ESV standard lexicon.
I said Hebrew lexicon, please.
Hebrew.
Yes.
See, this is the problem. You're running to King James.
I didn't go to King James. I said Hebrew lexicon.
No. Listen, you're a lexicon. Yashavot is a word that you can find what it means.
No problem.
I went to a Hebrew scholar and asked him, "What's this phrase mean?"
Okay, no problem.
So I went to 3, and they said it means to rest. And then they
no problem. I didn't say
that it means to rest.
I never said that the definition to rest is there to desist. I never said it was not one of the definitions. I said it's a verb to.
But you said to Sabbath. Doesn't mean
my friend,
Sabbath, it means to rest.
My friend, I just went to the lexicon there. It says to Sabbath, which can mean to desist, to rest, or to cease. I made that clear even in my position paper, but you show me any lexicon that
you added the word Sabbath to the text where it wasn't there originally.
I just showed it on the screen. Thank you. Next question.
Sure, it's not there.
Yeah, no problem. Once you show me a lexicon or any Hebrew interlinear.
No. No, you don't get to do that, Dr. Douche.
And he does that the whole time.
You don't get to do that, bro. And this is why I won't speak for anyone else. I won't even speak for Jena. We're doing this shit together, and I'm pretty confident we share a lot, if not most, positions on this discussion. But I'll just speak for me. This is why I can't take you serious, bro. Because as soon as you know, I can see it like your body language, your facial expressions, the look in your eye, like you're scared to fucking death right now. You're scared to fucking death right now. And rather than just saying, you know what, hold on. Let me take a minute. I may actually be able to learn from this Pat guy. Like, this is real talk right now. Like I said, I was going to go ghetto earlier, which I will continue to do, but hit a pause button on that. Rather than you showing an ounce of humility and saying, you know what, maybe I can learn. Maybe I should hit the pause button because maybe I can learn and take something away from this. Instead, you just dig your heels in deeper and deeper and deeper, because I already know where this goes, because I've seen this from you enough times now. That's why I don't take you serious, is because the true intellectuals, and I am not throwing myself in that basket, just so we all are clear, but the true intellectuals are the ones that's like, yeah, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I can step away and learn from this.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can do that in real life, but in like a debate format like this, you know, we're talking about intellect and the dialogue and logic and reasoning and all that. That's not my bag. But it would behoove you, Dr. Douche, to hit the fucking pause button and say, you know what? I may be able to learn right now. And Pat may be able to show me some things maybe that I've not been shown or talked to or with about before. And maybe, just maybe, I can take a nugget or two from what Pat is saying and analyze it. But that's what's fucked up is not just you, Dr. Douche. It's not just you. Most, not all, most theists dig their heels in like this in a very similar fashion.
Indeed.
Where you think that you have to have all the answers. And you think that you have to know everything because of God. When really, when you get into conversations like this, you don't see it because you are blinded within your own worldview, so to speak, or blinded by your own lenses. But you look like an idiot. You look like an idiot because you're not willing to take a step back and say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And as humans, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with looking in the mirror or looking at a conversation or looking at points other people are making and saying, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I interpreted this wrong, or maybe I read this wrong, or maybe I understood this incorrectly. Maybe it's not wrong. Maybe it's just an incorrect understanding. Like, just hit the pause button, bro.
But he has no humility to do that.
No, I know. That's what's sad.
Yeah. I'll read it. Just got back. I just wanted to say the reason I mentioned Strong's in my opening was to let Terry know I was going to embarrass him if he tried to use it, but he did anyway. And also, back in the day, I looked at people with crazy eyes each and every day. I didn't back down and did what I had to do. This guy was a paper tiger and needed to be sown as such.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I openly call him Dr. Douche. He's not to be taken serious. And the only reason I got serious there for a moment is there are other theists out there that aren't this batshit fucking crazy about their conviction and their belief, that it's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, you know what? That's new information to me. And maybe I can walk away and learn from that. And we just had that on one of our streams the other night. You know, a guy called in, or you know, our call-in show, whatever it was, and was like, no, I need to. And Pat was a part of that. It was like, no, I need to walk away and I need to investigate this more. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. Whether you're a theist, atheist, whatever the fuck you call yourself, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? Maybe I don't have enough information, and maybe I'm wrong. But let's continue to investigate. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. But it's when you just take this like hard position, like I'm right, you're wrong, but you have no evidence other than 7 days, bitches. Yeah. And this is why I'm gonna go ghetto again. 7 days, bitches. 7 days proves God's, bitches. No, get the fuck out of here, dude.
And prime example of what you're talking about. I've watched it once since, and there are a few things I could have done better and or more clear on my points, but I'm not too big to admit it.
No, and that's fucking awesome. That's,
exactly.
And I guarantee you, Dr. Douche will never post that anywhere.
No. He claimed at one point that he was the winner, of course, per usual.
This is what Dr. Douche is going to do. He's going to do the old school WWF, Hulk Hogan. Dun 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 And it's like, but you didn't win shit, bro. Anyway, I'll do this. We'll get back to the video because I as soon as you get me going on WWF, who knows where we'll go.
Oh boy.
Blame it on the loose. Blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the loose. Got you feeling loose. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the.
Oh, and real quick before we go, this is a quick commercial break. So my birthday is coming up this weekend, and my beautiful, amazing, awesome girlfriend Jena bought me this thing. This thing, you see that? The whiskey glass, custom made with my nickname and my name on it. But here's the other part.
Oh boy.
I just drank it all. I got a refill. But do you see? At the bottom of the glass, it says Oz. It says Oz. My girlfriend is way better than yours.
Well, thank you, baby. Happy early birthday gift.
My girlfriend's way better than yours. Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I love you all.
If that agrees with you, then we could
I don't
consider that.
have to, Terry, because
Okay, no problem.
status
So
is
next
not in text.
question. No problem. I made my case. You made yours.
Stop.
I made my case. I said it's a verb. I said it's a verb, not the noun. So next
to
question.
be fair, Pat, you can address that in your 20 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you for your being impartial.
Thank you.
I like you a lot.
Thank you for the thank you.
No problem. So you said I stole my argument from Dr. Henry Morris. Now I don't really know this man, but if he has the same argument to him, glory to Jesus Christ. But can you give me one citation from Dr. Morris? Because I would like to know if this is true, because I'm going to do my research. Give me one citation that he argues the same way I argue. Number one, the exclusive. Give me one citation on one verse that he provided that says the 7-day cycle is exclusive to the Hebrews. And my most important part, appealing to Isaiah 66:23, that says he would universally implement the 7-day cycle as a sign of his authority. Give me one citation, please.
So this is his article. It's a print from the internet.
No problem.
I don't pay for the original.
Thank you.
This part is painful.
Actually, maybe to save a little time, I think Rage read this in its entirety. To
Can you give me the citation? Just a citation.
Sure.
I don't have that much time.
Well, you don't, because you're not aware of this scholarship, right?
Just give me the citation.
8 pages. So it's Henry Morris, PhD,
Yes.
September 4th,
Yes.
1979. The journal is Acts and Facts. Creation.
The citation.
I'm giving you the citation. It's the journal Acts and Facts, September 1st, 1979. The journal was called Acts and Facts.
I didn't ask you for the source. I'm asking you to give me a part
You
of
want
this.
me to read it?
That's a citation. I'm sorry. Stop.
Testimony of the fact of creation is the strange phenomenon of the 7-day week. Almost universally observed in the present world and often observed within the ancient world, it is so deeply rooted in the human experience and so naturally physiologically that we seldom think about its intrinsic significance. And then it talks about time markers, days, all these other things.
Pat, sorry. I'm going to refocus you. I asked you.
You need to refocus me if you want me to read the man's
Please
article.
stop.
No, I don't need you to
Well, you
read
can get your
everything.
argument before you.
My friend. I have a 1 hour, 2 hour presentation on my channel
Right, so-
going through the whole. Can I ask my question? Pat, can I ask my question? I have an hour presentation. I'm just asking you to give me a summary that says, because my proposition, as I did in the beginning, is based on authorship. And the most important part, because you said I copied them, the universal implementation. Can I ask my question? The universal implementation. I know, because you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention.
Oh, I am.
Oh my god. Pat, give me the citation. Give me the citation, Pat. He was fucking giving you the cite. Do you not know what a citation is?
Oh no!
Do you not know what a citation is?
Hold on, everybody that babe, for all of us, even those in the chat. This is golden. This is golden material, and I hope all of you go to the original content and that you chop this up and you use this, because whether it's the 7-day argument or whatever other fucking argument these use, this is golden.
Oh gosh.
Why?
This is how I know you don't read scholarly shit.
Why? Because when they ask for citations in this particular situation, Pat's trying to give you citations, and you know he's getting ready to learn you. You know, motherfucker, you know he's getting ready to learn your ass. So rather than letting him and allowing him to learn your Dr. Douchery ass, you just cut him off. And you overtalk and you overspeak. Why? Because you have no citations, motherfucker. And notice Pat hasn't asked for that one time.
Jeez. Let me refocus you, Pat. Let me refocus you.
But think about that. Pat could have, because he's spewing a lot of shit. He's claiming a lot of shit, but Pat doesn't have to demand citations. Pat doesn't have to demand peer-reviewed literature, articles, work. He doesn't have to. Why? Why you ask? Why you ask, Dr. Douche? Because he actually did the fucking hard work.
He already knows the answers to all the fucking questions he's about to throw at you. And he already knows you don't have any answers to him.
Don't get me wrong. There are particular conversations, situations where you should demand citation. You should demand and all that. But preparing for a debate like this, it shouldn't be like, give me your citations, motherfucker. You should be prepared, bro. You should already know this.
Right, because the point of it is, and I don't think at any point in the debate you should expect or request citations from your opponent. It should be, you should be ready for any possible responses with your own resources. No, that's how you combat that.
So Pat, and again, I appreciate so far, because I already know how Dr. Douche is going to act. I already know that's we just have case after case after case. He is Dr. Douche. He's going to act like a douche. But I've very specifically been watching Pat because I want to see demeanor, facial expressions, all that, and how Pat handles himself dealing with a fucking asshat like this, right? And first and foremost, Pat, hold on, I gotta get to my soundboard here because I have to. There's I don't know if there's any possible world to use Darth Dawkins' language. I don't know if there's any possible world that we could exist in that I would have the patience for this motherfucker that you had. Period. Even up to this point, we're not even. I don't even know how far through this we are. But I don't know how long I would last with this bullshit. But I appreciate the fact that Pat. I can tell, and I know when he's disagreeing. Don't get me wrong, like that's very evident. But it was never the type of looks like douchebags given that like fuck you look, like you're not on my level, bro. You're not on my level, bro. Like those fuck you looks, right? And Pat's just the whole time, like, if anything, it's eyebrows raised, like right now. And see, I'm the king of the pause button. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. The eyebrows up where it's like, what the fuck you done said? What the fuck you done said? But the reason I paused earlier, just please, everybody, whether it's this or just go back to Gerd Mania if you feel you need to, go back and take the snapshots from this. It's the most extreme version, or one of the most extreme versions, but this is exactly what theists do. Talk, and then as soon as they encounter someone that they know is fitting to whip that ass, like Pat is literally bending him over right now and slapping that ass, right? and he hates it. Oh, and look, and even I said that, and he's clapping. Like, he already knows. He's Pat's clapping that ass. He's slapping that ass. This is what they do. This is what they do. Then it's the over talking. No, motherfucker. Just sit back and learn. Just sit back and learn. Because Pat's about to learn you.
Show me anywhere in his documentation that he uses Isaiah 66:23, suggesting that it will be universally implemented as a sign of his authority over all nations. Give me any citation that says that. Because you're going to say I copy him. Show me where he uses Isaiah 66.
Actually, Terry, this is the problem. Is you said that you were the author of this, but someone else did it earlier. You may have been unaware of his work. I actually said that. But if you're unaware of his work, it means you haven't done as much research on your position as you said. But I'll read you the last two paragraphs, which kind of sum up. Okay. In context, the writer is showing that the ultimate rest for God's people, which is typically portrayed by God's rest after creation, and which was therefore typified in every weekly Sabbath observance, was not attained in the canon under either Joshua or David, but was still reserved for the future of even after Christ had returned from heaven and the Christian era begins. Since the antitype is yet the future, therefore a type must still be in operation. Just as the animal sacrifice in the temple did not cease until Christ had offered 1 year of sacrifice.
Can you go to the Isaiah 66:23 part?
Okay, I'm getting there. As a matter of fact, God people will continue to observe a weekly Sabbath even within the coming age. Note Isaiah 66 and Ezekiel 46:3. And it's the basis of his argument. He goes through all of these same analyses you do of Exodus and other passages. He cites them. I will tell you, he's much more eloquent than you are.
Yeah. Thank you.
So he has chapters of actual books.
Okay. No problem. I asked you for a quotation where it says, because the Isaiah 66:23, we could find that in the Seventh-day Adventist documentation.
Body language is so telling.
I know you're all about that. Let me ask you, babe, what does his body language say to you?
Oh, anytime you see, whether it's like a religious debate or even back when I was a huge sports nut fan, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as I saw somebody like they were offended and like hands up or like that,
puffed out and shit. Yeah.
It's you done got fucked up and you know it. You done got fucked up and you know it, and you're pissed. That's you're flexing. You're flexing. You're pissed off, and you're flexing. And R.I.P. to my mom. She was a human behavioral analyst. Mm-hmm. That was her side gig, but she was certified in that. And she learned me a thing or two, and that's one of the main reasons I think I have been successful in business is just my ability to observe and watch. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I see anyone, it doesn't matter who it is, when you like that's a very demonstrative position to take. It's not like this, like you're thinking or arms crossed or whatever. This is a very demonstrative position. Like you had to raise your arms, cross your head. Like that's a very you're pissed. You're pissed. And Dr. Douchey just got pissed because he knows he's getting learnt, and he doesn't like that he's getting learnt by the atheist. And Dr. Douche, maybe you should learn to blame it on the alcohol. And we're gonna have to do that again because I had to pour my drink.
Out of your personalized custom whiskey canister there.
It's not a canister. It is a glass, custom-made glass piece. Yes, I had to pour my drink out of this. Dr. had to pour it out of that motherfucker.
It's pretty damn sexy.
It's sexy as fuck. Any hoot.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Can I ask my question? You're interrupting me.
Sure.
I was raised a Seventh-day Adventist, so they already know about Isaiah 66:23. I'm asking you to show me how he was able to establish. Because you're saying I copied him. I provided a case.
No, I said
Isaiah,
plagiarized.
Can I ask my question, Pat?
Well, don't
Pat,
quote me either.
Yeah. You said I plagiarized, right? So I'm challenging that. I'm challenging that on the very fact that I presented two propositions, and the second one is the most important one: that he universally he predicted the universal implementation of the Sabbath 7-day cycle as a sign of his authority. I went through the word oath in Isaiah 66:19, Exodus 31:13, Ezekiel 20:20, Ezekiel 20:12. I made that clear. Can you show me where that is?
So Terry, you want me to show you that he used the exact same language as you in order to prove that he didn't?
Okay, so you
this
don't.
argument.
Okay,
no,
thank you.
I can, but you need to read the entire argument.
No. Thank you. Next question. Next one.
No. I'm going to answer your question. So he quotes. I'm just going to go through your list of lists.
Terry, you're a piece of shit, dude. You're a fucking piece of shit.
I don't want to read the argument. Nah, we'll move on. Next question.
You're such a, that's why I call him Dr. Douche. He's a child. He's a fucking child. Next argument. Next argument.
I told you to show me this. Pat proceeds to show you this. No, I don't want you to read the whole thing. Okay, next question. What? Bro.
You hear that, Dr. Douche? That's what your entire argument sounds like.
This is probably why you don't know shit. Did you remix that?
But that's all we're hearing. We might as well listen to that for 2 hours. Like, this is all we're fucking hearing. Oh, yeah, you should go watch a Kevin Hart stand-up routine where he says, "Oh, you gonna learn today. You gonna learn today." That's what Pat did this entire time. Yep. You gonna learn today, whether you like it or not, motherfucker. You gonna learn today. All right.
Your list of listed scripture: Genesis 2:1-3, Isaiah 40:28, Exodus 31:13, Genesis 4:3.
I never quoted Isaiah 48.
Well, he actually does more. He does more work than you.
Thank you.
Exodus 16:4, 5:25, Exodus 31:18, Genesis 50:10, Genesis 29:27, Exodus 28-10, Exodus 20.
Nothing that I presented. Okay, thank you.
He does because he quotes Hebrews 10:12.
Okay, thank you. Nothing that I presented.
You say that, and that's not
you have a chance to test me out because you're all over the place. You said I had
you can read it.
Yes, you said it. You said it 5 times already. Can I ask my next question? You seem to be panicking. You said bad hermeneutics. I'm not. Okay, so let me ask my question. Bad hermeneutics, right?
Mm-hmm. What the fuck are you talking about?
You seem to be panicking.
No, it seems like you're panicking, and then you're going to try to gaslight. Meanwhile, Pat, look what Pat's doing. I mean, I'm just saying, you're worried about Pat. You're worried about somebody panicking. Pat's tipping back. Like he's like bottoms
you
up.
reached for that Modelo.
Bottoms up, motherfucker. You're over there like, and nobody knows what the fuck you're saying.
Jesus.
Nobody even knows what the fuck you're talking about, and you hate it that he's done learnt you, and you have no idea how to get out of this right now. You have no idea. And I can already see it in your eyes. I'm watching your body language, your facial expressions. You have no idea how to get out of this other than just piling on more douchery bullshit upon more douchery bullshit. That's the only way you know how to get this, because you will not humble yourself enough to say, you know what, Pat? Maybe I can learn tonight. Maybe I can learn something tonight. You are incapable You are incapable. You, Dr. Douchery, are incapable and unable to say, Pat Lowinger, I may be able to learn something tonight. It's sad. It's sad. I feel bad for you, bro. I feel bad for you.
As my approach to Isaiah 66:23, which you said Dr. Morris applied as well. So I guess he also had bad hermeneutics. Can you please give me one example of bad hermeneutics according to the verses I appeal to? Give me one.
You selectively edited 30% of the language from the text in order to reach your conclusion.
Can you give me an example? Example. Be specific.
The phrase starts off, the actual text starts with from moon to moon. Then
New moon.
From new moon to new moon, and from Sabbath to Sabbath. If we just count the number of words in various translations, and I used 5, you delete 25 to 30% of the text. In the original Hebrew, you delete 15 to 18%, depending on if we add conjunctions.
Thank you for the
right. So you edit the text in order to get to your.
Thank you for the claim, and thank you for the statistics. I'm asking you, how does that change anything in my presentation? From new moon to new, explain to me how the new moon to new moon changes the fact that the 70 cycle would be universally implemented as I was arguing for.
Sure, you have lack of knowledge of the age and dating of that particular text. It's not a different argument. You're ignoring the fact that a lunar cycle will also need to be observed in this particular passage. New moon to new moon means the observance of new moon to new moon, and that didn't happen. So in order for your prophecy to be fulfilled, you have to come up with a different system. And that's
okay. Thank you.
That passage in its entirety.
Is your argument suggesting that although he fulfilled the 70 cycle part, that because he didn't do the new moon, then he's no longer sovereign? Because the fact remains, the fact that he fulfilled one part of the prophecy, as I stipulated in my videos, which you saw, the fact that he fulfilled the 7-day cycle part is enough for me to believe that he will fulfill the new moon to new moon as well. What is the argument you're presenting? Can you reasonably? Right. Can I ask the question?
Sure, you can answer it. Just calm the fuck down.
I thought you were.
No. I'm trying to pinpoint and making sure that he's addressing the point. The fact that he fulfilled the.
I don't even know.
You didn't prove the first part. Pat's like, you need to calm the fuck down.
I said it earlier. As soon as because he was normal Dr. Douchery, and I'm telling you, ever since, and this is why I'm a huge body language, facial expression. I love watching people's eyes. Literally, if you go back and you can clock it now based on our stream, and me bringing it up, you can. It's clockwork. As soon as you saw this. He's been unhinged.
Yes.
He's been unhinged. Pat unlocked all of the bullshit. Pat unlocked all the bullshit, and he has been unhinged since that moment. Mm-hmm. Body language tells way more stories than we give it credit for. And as soon as he did that, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh shit. Like he's trying to flex. He's trying to flex because he's lost all capability of having a rational conversation at this point. And I'm sure that will just continue.
Part of the 7-day cycle, is that not sufficient enough to establish that he's sovereign?
No, because you don't understand contractual statements. Conditional statement is an if-then statement. If this, then that. But if you have a double conditional statement, if this and this, then that, and you only fulfill one part, it's failed. And you need to this is basic rhetoric, dude. If I say, I need you to go to the store, buy groceries, and come home, and you go to the store and you come home, but you don't buy groceries, you didn't fulfill the task I asked. It's simply as that in grammar. It works.
Where's the if? Can you show me the if? Can you show me the if in Isaiah 66?
It doesn't have to be. It's implied in the Hebrew.
Thank you. It's implied in the Hebrew?
New moon to new moon, from Sabbath to Sabbath. The same grammar you're using is used in the tense. It's 2 phrases that are both conditional upon the fulfillment of the text. Now, I don't want to argue the scripture, but you did engage in bad hermeneutics, and you need to be aware of that.
I'm going to ask you one more time. Where's the if in that verse?
It's not an if, it's an and.
Okay, thank you. And then how about Ezekiel 20:20, where it says, I will make my Sabbath a sign between you and me, that you may know that I am Yahweh, and that I sanctify you. Where's the bad hermeneutics as it applies to that?
I didn't claim you have bad hermeneutics in that particular passage.
Oh, but can you address it now?
Sure, we can talk about the fact that these different passages aren't really constructing what you do. That context came in the post-exilic period and was entirely only in the nation of Israel as self-identity during the exilic period. The fact that the temple had been destroyed and they were being forced to adopt a different identity framework. Basically, the Sabbath became how they identified themselves rather than their older traditional festivals.
Can you explain to me, Ezekiel 2020, according to you, is post-exilic period?
No, I said exilic or post-exilic.
Okay, no problem. The fact still remains, in order for the Sabbaths to be a sign between God and Israel, it will be, and Israel was already exiled to the four corners of the earth. Doesn't that entail or necessitate that the fact all nations has to adhere to a 7-day week for this to be fulfilled?
Well, so they weren't exiled to the four corners of the earth. They were exiled to Babylon, a region in what is Mesopotamia. The diaspora had not occurred yet. There were two major communities that we identify as Hebrews, one in the Levant and then one dispersed in Mesopotamia. That wasn't the four corners of the earth. So again, I just want to be honest, there's two groups basically that we're talking about. Those that remained in their traditional land and were suppressed by initially Assyrians and then later the Persians.
Are you suggesting, you're doing an internal critique, are you suggesting that scripture does not clearly stipulate that Israel, the northern tribe, was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth? Is that your position?
Yes. The text is making a bold, it's kind of like a literary appeal. They went everywhere. They really weren't.
Okay, I want to make sure the people understand what you're saying. Are you suggesting that scripture does not clearly stipulate that Israel was scattered through the four corners of the earth? Yes or no?
Yes, it doesn't say that. It says it, but it doesn't say it in the way you think.
It says it, but it doesn't. Okay, next question.
It's because you're unaware of what allegory.
No, thank you. Okay, you said the pre-Babylonian there was not a 7-day Sabbath. I did go to what does it say? Give me a second here. Give me a second. 5 minutes, huh? Give me a second here.
Yeah, a little less than 5
I'm not gonna give you 5 minutes, man.
No, don't worry about it. No, how can you? How do you reconcile your claim with the first extra biblical reference of the Sabbath, 630 BCE, the Mezad HaShayahu Ashtrakan? What is your
you
response to
are
that?
erroneously assuming that the Sabbat, as practiced in the pre-exilic period, particularly the early pre-exilic period, was a recurrent 7-day week, and it wasn't. I'm going to build that up in my own argumentation, my Coleman statement, but you misunderstand.
No problem. Thank you for correcting me. Can you give me one example of the Sabbath being mentioned in this pottery remain? So let me make sure I understand, because I have two more questions. What Sabbath is that referring to, according to you?
That's referring to the lunar Sabbath.
Can you give me one example? Okay, give me one example in the whole corpus. Give me one example in the corpus of the Hebrew scriptures that makes reference to a weekly Sabbath depending on the lunar cycle. And in the whole corpus, if you can do that right now, I'll become an atheist right now.
So I don't want you to become an atheist, Terry. Like I said,
okay, can you just give me an example? I'll become one.
Calm the fuck down, dude. I don't want you to start making all of these bizarre claims about I want you to come out of this a better Christian, dude.
Again, this goes back to the flex. Like this is the
One thing I will mention, because besides this whole do this now become atheist bullshit, was I don't know if it was before or after Terry started his opening. He said, yes, if Pat wins or whatever, I'm going to throw my Bible out the window.
But we already know that he's never going to admit that he lost.
No, of course not. So that was just flexing for no dumbass stupid reason.
Yeah, I mean, just like praise that I am that I'm not. And Gavin Herleman that's wanted to debate me for like 2 years, and the other day he caught me on a good night, and I was like, okay, bring it, bro. I'll create this shit right now, and I did it, and he ran away. So it's like don't talk all this shit and you're not prepared to defend it.
I know, it's funny how that shit works.
Yeah, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more. Anyway, but I do want to give a proper exit. So Jena has been streaming for like 20 hours straight right now.
More or less.
But baby, thank you for hanging out with me so far. But your stream with Nick was badass. But you need to rest.
Yes, I do. I'm not going to bed, folks. It's just, Your girl sits on the floor, so her back gets to hurt sometimes, a lot.
Get to hurt. Get to hurting.
It get to hurting, like that middle lower back. It's not good. I'm still young, so you know, back issues is not fun. But yeah, I've been on the floor for a while, and I'm gonna dip, and I'll see y'all in the chat. Babe, do your thing. Love you, and thank you for having me on.
Hell yeah, love you.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I don't know how she does it because I more times than not look tired and not just disheveled but pissed. But anyway, well, let's dig back into this bullshit. God damn it. God damn it, Dr. Douche.
Seriously, I have no desire to deconvert.
Have time.
Okay,
You could
new moon
sink
and
to the
Shabbat
ground.
being defined, and I'm relying on someone else's scholarship. I don't want to make it sound like this is my own, but if you reference 2 Kings 4:23, Hosea 2:13, Isaiah 1:13, Isaiah 6:20, 66:23, actually, Amos 4:8-4, these are all earlier texts that we call.
I just want to point this out again, and I'm not even playing. I'm not even playing right now, like real life. This body language right now, in this context, this body language in this context, this is defeat. And Dr. Douche doesn't have to believe me if he doesn't want to, but go talk to a psychiatrist, go talk to a therapist, go talk to those that study human behavior. This body language right here, this is defeat. Just go do your homework. Talk to a professional. He's already tapping out. It doesn't mean he's going to quit, but he already knows he's losing.
The old corpus, which clearly shows their distinction between the new moon and the Sabbath or Shabbat occurring twice a month, only twice. There were only two religious festivals in the old period, in the old pre-exilic period. Those being the new moon and the Shabbat, which occurred on the 15th.
I'm going to ask you one more time, and I think I'm going to finalize. Yeah. Can you quote one of the verses that you just appealed to and show me that was a weekly Sabbath?
I don't. I just told you.
Listen to my question. Listen to my question. Show me one example, because you claim you claim the pottery remain that refer to a Sabbath is a lunar Sabbath. So I'm asking you to go through the corpus of the Hebrew scriptures and provide me one. Can I just ask my question? You provide me one. No, but you seem agitated. Let me just ask a question. Don't worry about it, man. You're the historian. Don't worry about it. Give me one example in the whole. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Give me one example in the whole Hebrew corpus that makes reference to a lunar weekly Sabbath. Only one, and I will become an atheist right now.
Okay, your question is nonsensical because the original Shabbat was a full moon religious observation. It wasn't a weekly Sabbath. The weekly Sabbath is adopted in the exilic period for Jews, ancient Hebrews, to gain cultural identity, know that they were no longer allowed to observe the religious festivals. In my rebuttal, I'll explain this. Unless you want to explain it now, I'll be more than happy to explain how this.
You do it. Thank you. You do a good job of it. So basically, what you just suggested is that you have no biblical reference to a weekly lunar Sabbath. Thank you. And finally, you suggested that I have two more questions, but okay. You suggested there was a partition of the Babylonian calendar separating the religious from the civil calendar. Can you explain to me what would allow you to make that partition, given the fact that the religious calendar is directly predicated on the cycle of the moon, which is basically the Babylonian calendar? So why are you making a partition as to suggest that the intervals of 7 days is somehow a recurrent 7-day week?
Okay, so this kind of shows a problem with some of the scholarship you're addressing. The religious, when you have a calendar, certain days mean certain things, and certain things are calculated certain ways. The administrative calendar dealt with the fact that they needed an organizational calendar That's the one that is typically the 30 days per month, and it's always 30 days in the later Babylonian calendar. 12 times 3 is 360, and they had a 360-day administrative calendar. The observation of religious days were set at the new moon on the 7th, on the 14th, 21st, and 28th. They on the last 2 days of the month, and I will challenge you with this question during. I'll just give it to you now since it's going into my time.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
When you're ready, Pat,
Thank you for not answering my question, but go ahead.
I'm answering it right now. The religious calendar was there were 4 pairs of primal deities that had to be observed: sacrifice offers, market days closed, and general what we call absence from certain activities. They're prohibitive days. They were again multiples of 7. The 29th and 30 day only bore administrative functions. I challenge you to identify the names of the 29th and 30th day in the Mesopotamian calendar, because Pynchon got it wrong. So if you cite Pitches, I'm going to reject it.
First of all, that's not even the argument TJ Pitches makes. That's first of all, he's not even making that argument.
It specifically does. Pitches said
can I answer?
We're half days.
Do you have a question?
It is Pat's time now. So Pat.
No, he was asking me a question. I was responding.
Please respond.
Okay, so I want to make it clear. I clearly presented that the last 2 days, or 1 or 2 days in the last week, was not a religious observance. It was just there to reconcile or to align itself with the cycle of the moon. That is something that is not contested. Everybody knows that. I don't know of any scholar that disagrees that they added an extra 1 or 2 days to the last week. So that's not what we're arguing. What we're arguing is that the Babylonian calendar, no partitioning between religious or civil. The Babylonian calendar was not a recurrent 7-day week. That is my position. And if it's not, then your whole claim that the 7-day cycle was influenced by the Babylonians is out the window.
Take a breath, seriously, and understand.
All right. I can tell where this is going. So let's do this, and then we'll jump right back into it. God damn it! God damn it, Dr. Douche! Why do you do this to yourself? God damn it! Oh my God, I would be so embarrassed right now. When your interlocutor has to tell you to take a breath, take a deep breath. Take a breath. Dr. Deuce, just take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Breathe and know that he is not God. And no matter what calendar you look at, that calendar does not mean, therefore, God.
Understand this. The week for religious observations were days starting at 1 going to 7 that were named. They had names corresponding to the gods and planetary bodies because they worshiped them both as entities. On the following next day after the Sabbath, or the 7th day, they started that cycle of naming again. They did that again after the 14th day, and so on to the 28th. At the 28th day, the 29th and 30th day weren't named, but they remained. So each religious week was 7 days.
Within,
do you understand that those were 4 7-day religious weeks and a 30-day administrative cycle? Do you understand that?
I do understand that, and I would like to add a little caveat. I never disagree with that. I made that clear in my presentation as well. Never disagree with that, and TJ Pinchot doesn't even disagree with that as well. The point is what is intrinsically connected, linked to the lunar cycle. How do we calculate when the first 7 days start? We calculate that from the lunar cycle. In order for it to be aligned with the lunar cycle, they had to add extra 1 or 2 days in the last week. So my point is that is not a recurrent 7-day week. It is a religious week, but it's not. That's not a calendar by itself because it is
a religious week of how many days? This is my
7 days. Yet that is
did they ever have a religious week that was more than 7 days?
Let me finalize.
No, it's my time.
Yeah.
Did they ever have?
Sorry, Stanley. He did ask you a question.
Did they ever have a religious week longer than 7 days?
As I stipulated, there was a 19-week that was added after the first month. So that is also a religious day, which destroys your. which destroys your 7-day week
I already
argument.
addressed that. The 19th day was a day for doing certain astrological omen reading, divination.
It's a religious day.
Okay, you don't understand what you're talking about. The days of using divination for prophetic activities were different than days of sacrifice and closed market days, which was exactly periods of rest.
I quoted your source.
I know, and you didn't read his
Julius Louis
You didn't read the
clearly stipulates that it was connected to religious observances. What in the world are you suggesting here?
So,
I quoted your source.
Do you understand that getting prophetic visions for yourself?
It doesn't say prophetic. It doesn't say that.
But that's what it is. You need to read the fucking whole paper. This is the problem with being
The
unprepared.
whole paper.
The
The
entire
citation.
chapter.
I gave the citation.
You gave a citation, but the guy wrote 30 pages, right? And he's talking about that in the astrological system, which was part of their personal cultic activity, what they did as people individually, and what the kings did, and what the religious system. Now, the temple cult was different. When the gods had to be honored, was different than when, hey, Joe needs to find a good day to whether or not it's good for him to go to the next city over, and whether the gods will be pleased if he does it. Those are revelatory and divination days. That's how the ancient Mesopotamians practiced their religion. But the days of religious observation where the gods were to be honored were fixed on the 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. Period. They had a weekly calendar for venerating the gods. That's it.
I just want to make sure I understand your position. Are you suggesting for everybody to hear that the 19th day was not considered a religious day? Because I quoted your source, and I want people to hear you say that again. Was it whether you call it was an omen or this or that? Are you suggesting that it was not a religious day?
Okay, so religion had a lot of functions, but it wasn't a day that you went and honored the gods with sacrifice. And
you could ask your question.
It's a day.
You could ask your question. You could ask your question.
No, I answered it. I just want to make people understand that you're conflating a system of magic revelation and personal and regal veneration with the cultic attitude of how the gods had to be venerated.
Everybody hear what he just said? Because I'm gonna
right. So he's not. But okay, so I actually found some interesting information that I think would actually help your argument if you wanted to rework it in time. Are you familiar with the Book of Jubilees?
Yeah, a little.
Okay,
I don't accept it.
So you don't accept it. The fact that in the Book of Jubilees, it's the clear first establishment of a 364 Enochian calendar. The first time that it comes to bear the reconciliation between various communities, ones that projected at Qumran, adopt a different calendar because they want to get away from a monthly cycle. And it states, quote, in Jubilees 632, now the command to the Israelites to keep the years in the number 364 days. Then the year will be complete, and it will not disturb its days or its festivals, because everything will happen in harmony with that testimony. And what we see is between 400 and 200 BCE, there is a huge contest for the lunar calendar or a non-lunar calendar to be adopted. And I want your explanation on why we observe it in that period and we don't observe it in a pre-exilic period when it appears they weren't keeping a 7-day cycle.
I already gave my reference to a pre-exilic period where they were keeping the Sabbath, because you have yet to provide any citation in the Hebrew scriptures that makes reference to a lunar Sabbath week, nowhere in scripture. But as far as the Book of Jubilee, yeah, no problem. The Book of Jubilee is irrelevant to me. I did not appeal to it, and it's not a scripture or a book that I consider as divinely inspired. So it's irrelevant.
Continue.
Thank you.
Sure. So prior to 586, the only thing that the Sabbath has any link to prior to the exile, you're talking about an ostracon that all it says is Sabbath, right? It says Shabbat, right? And it alludes to it. But you're not showing that Shabbat was a 7-day cycle at this time. You need to establish it earlier, and you can't. And this is one of the problems. You keep referring to historical sources, right? This was something you did in your paper. You actually say that the Epic of Gilgamesh was brought in by Noah. Can you take a second to actually explain how Noah the sons of Noah taught the ancient people of Mesopotamia about the Epic of Gilgamesh? And I want to hear this.
I'm sorry, what's your question? The Epic of Gilgamesh? What
you, said that, you said that the Noah account predates the Epic of Gilgamesh, and I want to hear your argument on
that. It's not even in the scope of our discussion, but I will respond to that.
It's in your position paper.
I know it is. Can I just finalize my statement? I said it's not really necessary or important as to establish. Yeah, no worry. I'm gonna respond to it. I have no problem to respond to it. The reason why I believe Noah preceded every other flood narrative is the fact that Noah provides a reasonable means by which the earth could be flooded by water. It says the waters of the deep, something that was scientifically confirmed not more than 20 years ago. So the fact that Noah knew something about knew about the waters in the deep, that's enough to overflood the earth, which science has now accepted and have concluded, shows me that it is exclusive and predates any other narrative, because you will not find that in any other flood narrative. If you disagree, give me one example. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask you a couple questions right here.
Go ahead.
What's the earliest text we have that contains the Hebrew corpus? The earliest actual manuscript?
I'm willing to go ahead, but the Dead Sea Scrolls will say 200 BC, depending on which book you're referring to.
So you understand the oldest epics, the actual physical copies. I
agree with all that.
So 2000 BCE, they had already written this down, probably about 2200. The epic Atrahasis was already out.
I already addressed that.
Right, you did. So your position is that it just lived in Jewish memory as kind of a verbal account because ancient Hebrews don't start writing until the 10th century. That's in the historical record as well. The next question I have for you is, you know that this is your scripture. You understand that the Mesopotamian calendar is actually detectable evidentiary within Noah's account, right? Are you aware of that, right?
Repeat that question. I didn't get that.
The Mesopotamian calendar is demonstrated. Noah was using, whoever wrote Noah, Noah didn't write it, but the author of the account actually was using the Mesopotamian calendar system.
I disagree.
Okay, so let's work through this.
Go ahead,
this is your text. What day of the month does it start to rain in the Flow narrative? It's the 17th day of the second month. I'm gonna give you the answers. Make it easy.
Okay, go ahead.
How long does it rain, Terry?
I don't know. Go ahead.
150 days, Terry. When does it stop?
Go ahead. Dumb.
17th day of the seventh month. 150 days later. It actually says 150 days and then gives those days. 150 days. Also delineating 5 months, 5 cycles, right? 30-day months. Guess what? That's the Mesopotamian calendar. Now, interestingly enough, you can't detect that. But if they were following, again, this is where we show a transition in Jewish chronology to the calendar system. And the fact that you just got blindsided by this and you don't realize that if they were following a 7-day cycle, right? Noah, the months would have been delineated differently. Noah would have come out on a different day than a different. They specifically took the 17th day of both months because it was 2 days after the lunar Sabbath. The Sabbath occurred on the 15th in the pre-exilic period. That happens to be corresponding with the second day of creation when God both brings forth and recedes the waters on land. It was more important to the author of the Noah account to make sure that the days which God brings the waters forth and the days he recedes them is the same day in the weekly cycle, which you don't realize that in order to keep that cycle and the calendar he used a 30-day month, which means that ancient Hebrews were following the 30-day administrative calendar in Mesopotamia. And to think that they also didn't copy the same holy days as being 1 and 7 is problematic. Now, are there some alliterations to the fact that it was very common in the ancient Near East for every so many days people to take days off? But the Sabbath becomes uniquely religiously significant when, Terry? At what period?
I'm not here to argue for Judaism. So I'm not here to argue.
Is it? I'll just say Hebrews, but do you have a problem with the word Judaism?
Judaism, well, the fact of the matter is that the priesthood post Babylonian exile is a priesthood that God doesn't recognize as per Ezekiel 45 verse 16, since they're not the descendants of the son of Zadok. So that's the reason why.
So I will use the word Hebrew then, if that makes you better.
Yeah, I disagree with your claim about the Hebrews because I believe.
I don't have to disagree.
Do you have questions? Do you have a question?
Well, hey, dude, you grandstanded too, so I'm going to sit there.
Not like that. Not like that.
Okay, let's continue.
Are you aware that later, the 7th-day Sabbath, do you understand the importance of sequential listing of words in Hebrew?
I'll go ahead and educate me.
So I will. So in Hebrew, a common literary trope, and it's demonstrable throughout all the texts that we have in the Old Testament, is that the greater frequency something has, or the greater the number of a thing, it goes first in a sentence. So if I have 10 of something, it goes first, 5 of something, it goes second, 3 of something, it goes third. Are you aware that all of the ordering of when it refers to new moon or new moon to new moon in the pre-exilic texts, it always lists the moon before Shabbat? Are you aware of that?
So you're saying that prior the exile into Babylon, you're saying every Hebrew text starts with the new moon before it speaks about the 70 Sabbath?
Correct. Moon precedes in both order of when it's observed and frequency. So
Sabbath, I disagree with that.
You disagree because you're unfamiliar with the critical scholarship on this. But after during the exilic period and post-exilic period, the sources reverse this. And what happens is,
can you give me a quotation?
I will. There's several good ones.
No, biblical.
Right. Nehemiah 10:13. The reordering goes in the opposite form. Sabbath precede moons and festivals. And that also is in 1 Chronicles 23:31, 2 Chronicles 2:3, 8:13, and 31:3. Those are all reorderings of the text, which correspond to the post-exilic and exilic manufacturing of the text. What this shows is early on, they only kept Sabbath once a month. This is the overwhelming consensus of scholarship, people that are way beyond our understanding of the Hebrew text, that have done nothing but spend their lives doing it. Early Jews, early Hebrews kept the new moon festival and the festival of the full moon. Sabbath once a month, new moon once a month. Both were days of religious observation. After during the exilic period, the what we know as the covenant laws of how many days you have to take off after the destruction of temple sacrifice in the first temple destruction. In exile, Jews then adopted a recurrent 7-day cycle to keep themselves unique among the people they were surrounding, and chose 7 days because it was what other people were doing. The fact that 7 days was unique to other cultures before the Hebrews is really.
Is there a question? Is there a question?
So how do you address the fact that all of these textual critics can actually formulate this and it blows your argument apart?
Well, it doesn't. For real. Leviticus 23, verse 3 and 4. It starts with the 7-day Sabbath as one of his feast days, and then it lists the feast days. So it says, and 6 days you shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath rest, and a holy convocation, and you shall do no work therein. This is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. These are my appointment days, feast days, Moed, talking about the 7 feast days. So here we clearly see that the Sabbath is mentioned before the feast days. I don't understand the point you're trying to make.
Because the Sabbath came more often than the feast days. That's exactly what I just showed you. I just showed you that the ordering was important, how often they were reserved. So if Sabbath becomes before feast days, it means there's going to be more Sabbaths than feast days.
We're conjecturing. I don't see the point.
It's not. This is established scholarship. The fact you're unaware of it shows how much you haven't dug into the text.
Yeah, thank you.
My questions now. The question I have for you regarding, I got to look at my cards. Do you know what a bilingual lexicon is?
No. How about you edify me?
Okay, basically it's two texts written to define two words, like Sumerian and Akkadian. So if you were a Sumerian, you could look up the Akkadian equivalent, like what's dog, what's cat, what's new moon. Are you aware?
No problem. Go ahead.
Are you aware that there are texts like this that also show that the Sumerians were making these later, and they made them very early in Akkadian, but they went into Canaan and started making these texts for the conquered people of Canaan? Are you aware of that?
Not particularly. I don't get your point.
Well, my point is when we talk about linguistics, it shows that both the way you learned texts in the ancient world was, I'm the person that has stuff written down, you're the person that doesn't. And so when you're learning a language, you learn my literature. You're not creating your own literature, you're learning my literature. And this plays into the part where we talk about cultural transmission. Do you deny cultural transmission as a cornerstone of the discipline of anthropology?
My whole contention is that that has no impact on the Hebrew calendar. That's my contention, and you have not demonstrated that as of yet. A whole bunch of questions that has nothing to do with the topic, but yeah, go ahead.
Do you know what the Enochian calendar is?
Enoch is not part of the Hebrew scriptures. I don't care.
It doesn't matter. It was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You know, the fact that you don't like it because it's not in your book, but it clearly shows the contents of Judaism, shows how you're not really
exactly. You made the point. You made the point. You made the point. It's part of the Judaism, not the Hebrew religion. Thank you.
I reject your analysis that Hebrews aren't Jews, but that just being because
I never said that.
Oh my, not God. Fuck me sideways. I can't anymore. I can't anymore. Dr. Douche, there's only one way that you've ever won a debate. And that is just talking your interlocutor into complete oblivion where they have no idea what you're talking about. They have no idea what you're saying. They have no idea what the fuck you mean. They have no idea what the fuck you mean. Nobody knows what the fuck you mean. But no, Pat, I appreciate it. But now I'm getting ready to wrap this up because before I go to bed tonight, there was a douchebag or two that on YouTube and Clubhouse and Discord over that are trying to use this one specific conversation as like this flex, and I'm like, no, do you understand how dumb you sound in this? And before I even start that stream, I was drunk. I was fucking drunk. and still and still made all of the arguments look like shit. But yet, this person's trying to use it as a flex. So I'm going to wrap this up, and in about 30 minutes, it'll be quick. It'll be clockwork. That's how easy it is. But I'm going to address it. I'm not going to leave it alone, because when you start throwing my name out there, I will clap back. It doesn't really fucking matter to me. You don't want that smoke, boy. You don't want that smoke, boy. Especially your flip-flopping ass. You know, before I even go to the stream, I'll name them on the stream. But your flip-flopping ass, boy. You don't want that smoke. But no, this is exactly what I thought it'd be. It would be a pat slap, a bitch slap, and annoying as fuck from the other side. And Dr. Douche, I genuinely do. I hope at some point in your life you come to understand that it's okay to learn from other people, and it's okay that there's other people that are way smarter than you. I already know there's people way smarter than me, and I want to learn from them. And I'm typically the first person on a stream or in a room where I'm like, I'm probably the least qualified to be here. I maybe I shouldn't even be here. And if not, I say, if I am the smartest person in the room, we're all fucked. If I am the smartest person in the room, we're fucked. So Dr. Douche, I hope that you get to that point, and I hope that we get to the point where I don't have to call you Dr. Douche anymore, because you do take learning from both sides seriously. But I'll see you all in about 30 minutes or so. Like I said, that'll be quick. I have to before I go to bed. It's bothering me. It's bothering me because they called me out by name specifically, so I have to get in that ass.
Yeah. This is for all you non-philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. And fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. Tang gang, Atheist Your Way.